Effective immediately, I am banning. Those 4 words didn't just echo from a podium. They exploded across the sports world like a grenade. In that moment, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver didn't just make a statement. He altered the very DNA of professional basketball. He delivered a verdict so irreversible, so final, that it instantly ripped apart the narrative of one of the most iconic athletes in WNBA history. Brittney Griner, the towering, thunderous generational force, is out, banned, forever. It wasn't just a disciplinary action. It was a purge, a cleansing of the league's most recognizable name. And no one saw it coming. No cryptic tweets, no anonymous reports hinting at a suspension, no leaks to soften the blow, just a sudden announcement, an emergency press conference, a manila folder full of evidence, and a legacy reduced to a headline. But how did we get here? To understand the gravity of this moment, you have to step back, years back. You have to look at Griner's meteoric rise, her untouchable dominance, her influence behind closed doors, and how the very traits that built her empire may have also fueled her downfall. Because this story isn't just about a ban, it's about power, it's about betrayal. It's about the hidden machinery that runs professional sports, the deals, the politics, the secrets that never make it to the scoreboard. What happened behind closed doors? Why now? And who benefits from Griner's fall? This isn't just a story. This is a reckoning. It was supposed to be just another Tuesday. The buzz around the upcoming playoffs was intensifying. Sports analysts were breaking down potential matchups. Griner's name had even come up in MVP conversations just days earlier. Fans were debating stats. Media was rolling out highlight reels. Everything felt like business, as usual. Then the league sent out a cryptic press release. Emergency press conference, league headquarters, 9 a.m., no additional details at this time. Reporters rushed to the scene. Social media lit up with speculation. Most believed it had something to do with officiating, maybe a long-awaited update on the growing murmurs of referee mismanagement. Others thought it might be related to player safety protocols or playoff scheduling. What no one expected was a lifetime ban. When Adam Silver stepped up to the podium, he wasn't flanked by lawyers. He wasn't surrounded by PR staffers. He came alone, a signal of how serious this was. His voice didn't shake. His eyes didn't blink. He was surgical, precise, cold. There is no place in professional basketball for conduct that compromises the integrity of the game, he said. Effective immediately, Brittney Griner is banned for life from the WNBA. For a moment, the room froze. You could hear chairs creak, breaths catch, cameras click. Some journalists blinked, unsure if they'd heard it correctly. A few thought it might be a joke, a cruel stunt to drive traffic or headlines. But Silver didn't smirk. He didn't elaborate. He simply turned and walked away, leaving a room full of stunned reporters trying to make sense of what they'd just witnessed. Phones lit up instantly. Twitter broke the news in real time. Griner's name began trending globally. Fans began flooding comment sections. Some cried. Some raged. Others simply asked, "Why?" And that's the question that still echoes across every corner of the sports world. Before the fall, there was the rise. To understand why this story is so devastating, you have to understand what Brittney Griner meant to basketball. Not just women's basketball. Basketball. She was born different, not just in stature, but in soul. From her earliest days playing ball in Houston, Texas, Griner towered over her peers, both literally and figuratively. Coaches whispered that she could change the game. Scouts showed up to high school matches in droves. And when she dunked, not once but twice, in a single high school game, it wasn't just a highlight, it was history. At Baylor University, she became a living legend. Blocks, boards, points in the paint. She led the Bears to a 40-0 season and a national championship. She was named AP Player of the Year, Final Four's most outstanding player, and she did it all without ever looking rattled. When the Phoenix Mercury drafted her number. First overall in 2013, she wasn't just another rookie. She was the future. Her first WNBA game drew massive ratings. Her first dunk? Viral. Griner brought something to the league that few athletes, male or female, could offer: dominance. She shattered expectations. Dunks became routine. Opponents feared going into the paint. She was a defensive nightmare and an offensive wrecking ball. But she also transcended the court. She became the first openly gay athlete signed to a major sportswear brand. She stood up for social issues. She spoke out against injustice. She advocated for mental health. She marched. She protested. She became a symbol of power, of pride, of unapologetic authenticity. Presidents praised her. Endorsements rolled in. Kids wore her jersey. Her presence made people believe the WNBA could grow, could thrive, could compete. So when that same name, Brittney Griner, became synonymous with scandal, fans didn't just feel confused, they felt betrayed. This wasn't just a star falling, this was the sun collapsing. Rumors, by nature, are easy to dismiss. And for months, that's exactly what the league tried to do. Even as stories started bubbling up, whispers about irregularities, strange ref decisions, unusually quiet player suspensions, the official word was always the same: there is no cause for concern. But behind the curtain, something very different was happening. It all started with a single email, sent anonymously, encrypted, and addressed to the WNBA's Ethics and Compliance Office. The contents of that email would set off a chain reaction that would ultimately shake the foundation of the league. The email detailed what it called a multi-layered influence ring involving players, referees, and at least one executive. The sender claimed to have screenshots of texts, wire transfers, private Discord chats, and surveillance timestamps, all suggesting that game outcomes were being manipulated. At first, investigators didn't believe it. The accusations were too bold, too cinematic. But as they began quietly reviewing game footage, communication records, and scheduling patterns, one name kept surfacing: Brittney Griner. And not in a vague, speculative way. She was mentioned in conversations, referenced in texts. Her name was in tagged chat logs that involved banned referees and shadowy third parties. And then came the travel logs, trips to private venues that lined up suspiciously with known game-fixing agents. A task force was formed, quietly, under the radar. Former FBI analysts were brought in. League phones were cloned. Digital records were seized. The investigation was airtight, and it had one goal: find the truth before the media did. What they found was bigger than anyone expected. It was always about the refs, at least on the surface. The WNBA had already been facing growing criticism about inconsistent officiating, missed calls, phantom fouls, ticky-tack technicals at crucial moments. But when referees started disappearing, quietly reassigned or mysteriously retired, fans began asking harder questions. Now we know why. Several of those referees were under direct investigation. One had questionable bank activity traced to offshore accounts. Another was linked to encrypted group chats with suspicious betting patterns. And when league investigators started matching referee assignments to Griner's high-stakes games, the overlap was alarming. Then came the recordings. In one clip, allegedly recovered from a burner phone left behind by a suspended official, Griner's voice can be heard: calm, calculated, and deeply involved. She doesn't respond well to pressure. If you can lean on her early, she'll fold by the third, she reportedly said about a fellow player. In another clip, I'm not saying throw the game, just control the tempo. That was enough to raise every red flag possible. But it didn't stop there. Officials found private video chats, intercepted emails, and meeting records showing Griner had contact with two of the referees currently under investigation. The WNBA had rules in place. Rules in. And that's it for today's deep dive. So stay tuned for more. If you made it this far, you're clearly not just a casual fan. You're part of the Above the Rim TV family. We break down the stories others are too afraid to touch, and we're just getting started. So if you love real talk, bold takes, and untold truths from the world of basketball, do this. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, because the next scandal, trade, or breakout moment, you'll hear about it here first. This is Above the Rim TV, where the game goes deeper.